Everyone for joining, who have joined this session today. So very happy that you are able to continue the journey. You are able to learn and you are passionate to learn further and scale up. So keep continuing, keep up the spirit, keep learning. So we have few more sessions on this one. So today's session will be the continuation of the Custom Preference Center, right, Tim?
Correct.
Okay. So we have Raja, who will be the builder today, and Tim will be guiding him through the process. Let's get started, Tim.
Awesome. Thank you, JV and Raja. I think I just need to give you another layer of business units. Okay. Yeah, if you go to the the main partner, there you go. Yeah, I think that's going to be able to access the cloud pages that we were working on last time. Excellent. So it's the one just to the right. It's not the multi-form, but the hands-on builder test 11.9. So yeah, it's the one a little bit to the left. If you scroll back up a little bit, yep, and it's the second one to the left. So it's yep. Sorry, that's the one just to the left of this one. Yeah. So if you arrow back out of this one, perfect. It's the one, just that one right there. Perfect. Yep, you can click right into there. All right, and we'll click into that. Okay, great. So this is where we had left off last time. And so what we were doing was outputting the values. There were two different attributes that we were outputting based on the subscriber. And so today what we're going to want to do is go in and view, like Sandesh was showing us, for your particular subscriber, Raja, we're going to want to view all the lists that you're associated with, and then we're going to unsubscribe you and show that functionality within server-side JavaScript and in this cloud page. So, but before we need to do that, we need to get you as a subscriber in Marketing Cloud, and we need to get you in a couple of different subscription lists, because if you had watched the video with Sandesh, he had created a subscriber that was in multiple lists, which allowed us to do the for loop function, which I think is a really good function to walk through today in a little bit more detail. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Thank you for creating some tabs. So let's go into, we'll go into that tab, and let's go to the email that is what we're going to be using to generate that link that's going to allow you, So if you go into emails, it's actually right over there on the right. You see that SSJS Bootcamp test email? So if you want to click into that, and then let's click edit. And then we're going to edit content, And then if you want to, just one thing to point out how these two work together, if you want to go down to that call to action button there on the right and click in there, And then if you go into that HTML, And then if you scroll down, so the way that these two emails work together is we're using this Cloud Pages URL wrapped in a redirect to function in AMP script, and that's associated with the number 3199. And thank you. If you click into the Cloud Page, let's just review that one more time. You click into the Cloud Page, and then if you go to Page Properties in the upper right-hand corner, and there's that 3199 number. So whenever someone clicks on that call to action button, it is going to go to this landing page. That's how that's set up. All right, so let's click on that preview and test in the email. And we're going to navigate to a date extension. So if you click on that little blue folder there, And then we're going to go under date extensions. And then we're going to scroll down to hands-on. So it's a little bit further up. Hands-on, And then there's an SSJS Bootcamp folder. And then let's click on the Cloud Page Test. Okay, so this was the date extension that we were using. I think we had added Bruno to this date extension last time. This is what we were using to send him and create him as a subscriber. and this is the one that I've been using as a test as well. So what we actually need to do is we need to add you to this data extension and send an email to you so that you get added to the all subscribers list. So let's keep this email tab. Let's duplicate another tab, and we're going to go manually add you to this data extension. So we're going to go to Contact Builder. So under Audience Builder. So yeah, and then a little bit further. Thank you. And Raja, it looks like you've been in Marketing Cloud before. You seem to be very comfortable with the navigation. I forgot to ask you what your experience was in Marketing Cloud.
Yeah, so I have been like the email developer, like working with the different. I'm currently working as a contractor at Equitas at INC, and
Okay.
I got an opportunity to work for different clients on the Marketing Cloud, wherein I have been
Awesome.
working mostly on the email studio for building the emails and working on those journey builder and automation studio as well.
Fantastic. That's good to know. We'll definitely leverage you maybe in future sessions on those skills. Yep, so we're going to navigate to that same data extension. Yep. And then, you can just click on that folder. Yep. And I'll let you, go for you. You've probably done this before. And we'll use your email address as the subscriber key.
Yeah.
And then you can just let's copy your email address as the subscriber key.
Okay, the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, I have that my record is actually a contact.
No, I wanted to change a few of the letters, but yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, and so there's a couple of different ways to do this, and Raja, I'd like to actually get your perspective on this as well. What we want to do is we want to get you in all subscribers. So one of the things I was thinking about doing is we could do a user-initiated send you, send that. So would that make sense from that standpoint?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to open up, let's leave this tab open. We're going to come back to this email. You can just leave that there. And let's just open up another tab. And you want to try that through the save and send? Okay, let's try to, okay, perfect. Let's do transactional. I think our commercial is sometimes not as, And then on that sender profile, if you want to click in there, let's scroll down a little bit to, there's a next, Cervello-next. Right there, perfect. Yep. Perfect. And and then we'll select the data extension. And then, that's good, perfect. Yep. Perfect.
Looks good.
Yeah, all looks good. I think you just check that box and should be good to go. Cool. And then, Raja, can we do that a couple more times? What we want to do also is subscribe you to 2 more publication lists as well. So if you go back to the email, let's do that send process again.
Okay.
It's funny, it doesn't pick up what you did before. Now, yeah, perfect. Thank you. And under SSJS Bootcamp, so if you click under the caret under the little arrow right to the left of SSJS Bootcamp, see there's a little, yep. And then select monthly promotion, perfect. And hit select. And then just follow through the same steps. I'm gonna have to send you an email, I think. Yep. Yep. Cool. Did you get the first email?
Yeah, I'm checking that.
You want to check tracking in Marketing Cloud to see, sometimes it'll tell you.
Yeah, sure. 1 second. Let me do this one as well, and then.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Raja, if you go back one, because we need to make sure we select the right sender profile.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And transactional, yep. And then the sender profile, you can go back one. We just need this, yeah. And then it's the Cervello-next in the sender profile. Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. Sorry. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so now let's go and check this tracking. There, we received it or not. Test email. Okay, completed too.
All right, so that's good. And even if you don't receive it, it's actually okay. So, I mean, the fact that it's showing there, most likely you are in all subscribers. And let's do that. Let's go into all subscribers and just check that, just to see that you've been added to all subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it shows us this list view of it. Yeah, I don't know why sometimes it does that. Oh, yellow shirt, interesting. And let's
Yeah.
click into that and see. Maybe because you bounced. Hey, you bounced, interesting. Okay, and let's just check the lists in that tab to tell you if which lists you're. All right, so you're added in both those lists. That is all we actually really needed. I think we're going to be okay with what you've done. So yeah, let's go back to that email. And I think we should be able to, since that subscriber exists in all subscribers, we might be able to work with just clicking the link in the email itself.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just select you as a subscriber. Cool. Yeah, and let's try that call to action button, see what we get. Yay, so we got some data, awesome. So that looks good.
Yeah, but basically these are the
Yeah.
empty data. But let me refresh it and see.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, but it is data, so I think we'll move on to the next step and see if we, because of that record did exist, I'm hoping that there's something there. At least we should be able to pull you up as a subscriber in SSJS. I mean, that you're currently, we see you in all subscribers. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So Raja, if we go to the documentation tab, or if you want to, can you bring that documentation tab over into this the server-side JavaScript Salesforce documentation? Cool. Awesome. So what we're going to think, so we're under the subscriber function in this list of functions. Yeah, so if you just scroll up just a little bit, just so people can see that we're under the subscriber functions. And perfect. And then I think if we go under the lists.retrieve, yeah, so this should be able to give us a list of subscriber list that you are subscribed to. Yeah. So let's copy both of those lines of code, and then we're going to paste that into our server-side JavaScript block. And can you widen your code block a little bit, just so we can see a little bit more of the code area?
No, sure.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, we can paste that right under line 13. Okay, so the initial, like Sandesh had told us, the first thing you need to do is initialize that sub key, which is the subscriber key. And we've got that up on line 8. So I think we're good to go from that standpoint. So that's the subscriber key that we're pulling in as the value from the personalization string. And then line 8, I think we use the initial for the attributes. So we can delete 15, got that. Cool. And then we just need to make sure our code aligns with the variables, right? So sub obj looks right. It's camel case. Sub obj is that variable that we're setting to initial there. And then, oh, yep, we can add that there. Perfect. And then, yeah, so all we need to do is output the list array. So yeah, we copy that, and then we can drop it in the stringify. I think that's what we're going to want to do is to, yep, so we're going to replace attributes. Yeah, you can keep that as is. You don't have to paste. Yeah, yep, perfect. Awesome. Cool. So you can hit save and publish on that. I think that'll replace debug from the attributes of above. I think we can still keep that. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's hit save on that. Yeah, we'll hit publish. Cool. And then let's go refresh your screen. Let's see what we get for data here. All right, we've got some data. Yeah. So, all right, that's so cool. And that we're seeing across the board you bounce, but you know, that's fine. I think we can still unsubscribe a bounced status. But like Sandesh showed us, which is kind of handy, is that we've got this, got this string of all the different lists that you're associated with that subscriber key. So we've got all subscribers, we've got that weekly newsletter, and we've got the monthly promotions, all 3 of those lists. Fantastic. So what I think the next step that Sandesh took us through was how can we output this in a little bit more of an organized fashion so that we can, we could use this for how we would align this for people unsubscribing. So if, say for our preference center, we have a use case where somebody doesn't want to unsubscribe from all the emails. They just want to say there's like, we have our regular, say we're a bank and we have our regular communication that we send out every month, which is, money saving tips. And then we have this special newsletter, which are like stock tips that goes out once a month as well. And so that would be a different publication list that people can subscribe and unsubscribe from. So maybe in our preference center, we might offer the options. Yes, I want to stay subscribed in the monthly, general email, but I want to unsubscribe from the stock lists. So in our example, what we could build in for the functionality is the ability for you to subscribe and unsubscribe on these variety of lists. So I think it's helpful for us to output for every subscriber what list they're associated or subscribed in. So, okay, and so I think what we can do with the next step, I think, which Sandesh took us through, was taking this data, which is a string, and being able to output just the name and maybe the status of each of those lists themselves.
Yeah,
and
sure.
what he took us through was building a for loop in order to do that. So in your example, we want to go through all of the lists that you're associated with, and each time we go through it, we want to add to this variable that's just going to basically output all of your lists. So
Okay.
for loop, yeah. So the tricky thing is for loop syntax, how to do that. So if we go to the documentation, the Salesforce documentation, I was looking high and low on this to see where the breakdown is on how to do for loop documentation or how to do syntax in SSJS. And I couldn't find it. I looked under list functions. I couldn't really see where that's detailed. Yeah, like there's add, there's data extension functions, right? Like where do we find the syntax of how to use for loops? So what I ended up doing was in Google, I searched SSJS for loops. So let's try that, because there's a good resource that I discovered I think would be worthwhile looking together at. Yeah. And let's go to Matthews. I think we've featured Matthews. Yeah, so that first SSJS loops, fantastic. We've featured Matthews in a couple other boot camps, and this is really cool. So let's just go up a little bit and just take a look at, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I think if you go down a little bit, I think if he helps break down the code a little bit. Okay, so he sort of breaks it down. The first part is this initial expression where you're setting that I variable to 0, and you don't have to set it to 0. You could start at, say you didn't want to include all subscribers, which was the first list on this array. You could start at 1 and you could skip all subscribers if you wanted to, but in our case, it's going to be 0. So that's the first part. You're declaring this I variable at 0, as far as I'm understanding it. The second part is what you're going to be, checking against each time you go through this for loop. So it's checking against the array, which will put in our variable in there for that array, and if it is less than the number of values in that array, which is kind of interesting. I guess that length determines that. And then I guess each time it goes through the for loop, it's going to take that I variable and add one number to it. So it's just, I'm sort of learning, refining on the SSJS for loops, because I'm so much more familiar and comfortable with them in AmpScript. So it just seems like it's very simple in that area. And then after that paren, there's the handlebar. And what's in the handlebar is what you're going to be doing each time you go through the for loop. So in Matthew's example, he's just looking to write stuff. in our example, I think we're going to want to do is take a variable and we want to just sort of concatenate and keep growing. Like we want to output all subscribers. We want to output the next list. We want to output the next list. But I think what was good, if you want to copy that entire code block, that will be helpful. We can bring that over and modify it for our use case. Raja, did that make sense as far as the syntax for for loops?
Yeah, that makes sense, Tim. So basically, we would like to iterate over this list to see, you know, the number of in the sense, same pattern, how many same patterns are there? In this case, we are having 3 for each, all subscribers, and 1 for weekly newsletters, and the other is for the monthly promotion. So we are having 3 kind of, it's a array list, right? So we are having 3 arrays. So we would like to iterate over those 3.
Yeah, and if you go back to that array real quickly, what's really fascinating to me is that, you know, what determines the, you know, variable 0 or 1, 2, and 3, it's a comma, which is nuts, right? So list, it goes all the way up through there. That's 0, or the first variable. And it's just that comma that separates the next one, which is a handlebar, and it starts with list and it goes through the whole thing. So, you know, it's kind of interesting how in the AND script world, I'm so used to seeing data extension values, you know, and in strings, it's just kind of cool to see, because that's not the end of that string. It goes all the way through. Oh, no, it does. I'm sorry. Yeah. But, you know, there's a handlebar. You could go back to right before created date. You could be confused and say, well, does list end, you know, at right before created date, because that's where that handlebar ends, and there's a comma there. You know, that is that the variable? It's not. It's still, you know, that's still within the handlebar code, the handlebar that you open up another handlebar, I think at wherever it is. But anyways, okay, yeah, exactly. So sorry, I just wanted to just a little bit on that, but okay, let's go back to the cloud page and let's paste in that code, and let's see if we can. We can do it. Yep, right there, perfect. All right, cool. And then I think we can. Yep. So, yep, exactly, right? It seems like that's the length that we're looking for. Yep. And then what Sandesh was having us do was, you know, he had asked create a variable which he had as list names, and he didn't really declare it. Yeah, sublist works. Yeah. He doesn't have the var in his code, but so try it without the var. Yeah, so on line, well, we'll keep it the var, see if that works. So that's going to be what we're going to want to set the sublist to is we're going to start it with sublist. So it's going to be equals sublist. Yeah, what you're doing is.
Or shall we first try to print out the first the first all subscribers? Perfect. And see whether are we getting the same kind of same kind of values or not?
Okay. Yep. No, it's a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, so that your list array would be I, right? So you're going to be, as you're going through this for loop, you're going to want to set that variable to every, you know, you're having I determine the 0, 1, and 2. Yeah, so that I, and then it's dot list dot name is how you want to, after that bracket, that's how you determine within this variable, it's the dot list, which includes that description all the way through that handlebar that ends right before created date. So if you go back to the, Yeah, exactly. And so if you go in there and if you do a dot list, yep, and then dot name. So within list, within that handlebar, we want to just output the name, which is the, yeah. Okay, and yeah, so let's try outputting, let's try outputting that. And I don't think we need stringify on that because, yeah, okay. And I think, yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, let's try see what we get when we do that.
Basically, we will get the last list name because that we are using only one variable.
Yeah, most likely. I think you're right.
Yeah, monthly promotions.
Awesome. Oh, nice, nicely done. Well done. All right, can we modify the bottom variable so it outputs the stringify of the list array? So can we modify? Yeah, that'd be great. Just so that we have that to compare it to. Nicely done. And then we want to stringify that because otherwise, yep. Awesome. Okay, so we're able to output the one variable, which is awesome. Now let's go and output all three of them. Let's go through the for loop and output 1, 2, and 3 all in one line.
Okay, yeah. So in that case, it should be, okay, let's declare one, like the initial value, something.
And add a semicolon. I like where you're thinking there. Add a semicolon on line 11. I think that's just best practice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then we want, yeah.
Yep. And then we want to add a little bit of spacing between each of those. So that was something that Sandesh had also added. So yeah, after that plus sign on 13, we could add something like, yeah, actually, no, if you can, I think you were right with that just being set to null value. Well,
yeah,
you can
okay,
leave that
maybe like,
but,
yeah, so let's do this thing.
Yep. And so after the first plus on sublist, that's where you want to do a single quote.
Yeah, let's do it at the end so that, after every name, we will get the special character that we wanted. For example, like this. Or, yeah, like this, yeah. I can use this.
Okay, let's see what that turns out with. Cool, nicely done. All right, and then let's see you add status. The status, we want to get your, what would you do to add status?
Yeah, so this is apart from the list, right? So, so to get that, we need to be doing the list array dot status directly instead of going into the list.
Okay, let's go see what's nicely done.
Yeah, so here we wanted even the status to be there, right? So for that one, let's do one more variable for retrieving those, and then where sublist status. Dot
Cool.
Yeah, and then we wanted to print this one. Yeah.
And then do you want some sort of character between, I guess, yeah, that's fine. It'll, like, how do we know that the all subscribers and its status are unit, and then the next
Okay.
unit.
Okay, then yeah, let's do this thing, and then let's add after each thing we can add one more character to indicate.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, and then save this.
Nicely done.
Yeah. So for each for all subscribers we have bonds status. All subscribers, the status is bounced. That's fine. And weekly newsletter we have status bounced. That's also correct. And also for monthly promotions here bounced. Correct. Okay. Yeah.
Nicely done, Raja. Awesome. Well done. Fantastic. All right. The last step that we had that Sandesh was going to walk us through was unsubscribing.
Yeah. So let's go to
You want to go to the document? Awesome.
Yeah. To see for subscriber functions. Unsubscribe. Yeah. Yeah, so we are initializing the subscriber, and once the initialized object, we are using the unsubscribe method function to call.
Yep.
So let me copy this syntax because we already have this initialization of variable.
Absolutely.
So we can reutilize that. So after having all the list here, I can do status is equal to sub object dot unsubscribe. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. And let's do one thing. So before this stringify of, yeah, okay, let's in the debug, let's print what's its previous status is. And then in the error, we can print, yeah, the previous status would be defined with this one, right? Okay. Yeah, debug, yeah, it prints out the previous one, and the after we unsubscribe, if we reprint the actual array, then we will get to see whether all got unsubscribed or not. So that can be found by using the list array in the error itself. Okay, yeah. So this will print in the debug area. It will print the status of the like what's the status for each list. What is its status?
Yep.
And in the error area, it will show what's its previous previous list array. I was just hoping
I think what Sandesh would, I think it's in line 25 or the error. If you put in status, I think that'll show you confirmation. So if you leave that, that's good. But on 25, on line 20, and then that's fine. That's good. Yeah, let's try that. That'll output. I think we'll see if it doesn't work, we'll see an error. But if it does work, we'll see a like an okay. I think we showed.
Correct. Yeah.
And Raja, it looks like you did your homework.
Yeah. So in the debug area, it will we are trying to see what's the outcome after subscribing, whether it is subscribed or not, what's its status.
Yep.
And in the error, we will be printing the like for that particular subscriber, what all list he is a like part of. So we are printing that details as well. So let's schedule it and publish it, and then refresh it. Yeah, we got that.
Cool.
So okay,
Yep.
it stands for yeah. So we have, I think it's unsubscribed that particular the subscriber from all these particular list, I guess. So currently we are displaying it the actual list. So we are seeing the status as pounced as of now. But let's go back and see.
I think if you just refresh your screen, the cloud page screen, it'll should show you now as bounced.
Correct.
Yeah, try hitting refresh one more time.
Yeah, it worked.
There you go. Yep. And then let's go back into all subscribers and let's just double check that just so we can validate.
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Unsubscribe.
Let's click into that.
Yeah, list.
Nice. Yep. Unsubscribe date. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Really well done. Raja, thank you for doing the homework. Obviously, I think you watched the video and you had everything well versed. Nicely done. Nice work on that. It made it super easy. And that's it. That's what we had planned to do today. In our next session, we're going to be I think we'll be utilizing this logic. Like Sandesh had said, we're going to be using AmpScript for the actual, in our cloud page, we're going to be using AmpScript for the actual unsubscribe functionality, because I think that's the best practices. But I think it was just helpful to see this, to see that functionality, see how simple it works there from that standpoint. And I think what we'll end up using this logic for now, I think depending on where we are with the SSJS sessions, we might be either building in functionality to display the different lists, or based on what we're able to look up for the subscriber, displaying them in the UI, which would allow them to check them. It's like, yeah, I want to unsubscribe from this list, I want to unsubscribe from that list, and then updating that in the lists themselves, and or writing to a date extension that might have like this universal file date extension, so that we know on a subscriber basis which list they're subscribed on or unsubscribed on, which might help us with our segmentation. So I think this sort of continues to set the foundation, and this was a great session, Raja. So really appreciate your work on this. You were very efficient. Nicely done.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Yeah. Any questions on your end?
No, Tim. So in last session, even for the like they informed us, here now that we are in the session, in the training session, like he informed that how to unsubscribe from a specific specific list. So just wanted to see how we can do that. For example, if I wanted only to be unsubscribed from the new weekly newsletter, to change its status to unsubscribed, how we can do that. So like he provided a syntax of how we can do it, basically in the kind of theoretical manner, but not practically. We haven't seen that. I was just hoping that we'll be able to implement that as well.
Absolutely, and it's a great point. That will be the functionality that we want to build, right? So that you're not unsubscribed out of all subscribers. You're unsubscribed from like the weekly newsletter. In addition to that, we might also want to capture in our cloud page the ability for people to say like, hey, I want emails once a week, or once a month. So I don't want to unsubscribe from this list. I want to dial back the number of emails that I receive. So I think we're going to build in both that functionality, unsubscribing from a specific list, and then having the variability of saying I want to stay subscribed, but I want to be flagged to not get every email. I only want to get one email a week or one email a month, but still be subscribed. So yes, building in both of that functionality. Yeah, it's a great call on that. And so I think that's our goal, is to create a multi-featured. It may have more options than you would typically, have in a custom preference center, but I think our goal is to build as much advanced functionality in this using server-side JavaScript and in AMP script, so that everyone could walk away with a code block and say, okay, if I ever needed to have, a variety of these functions, I've got a solution built that I can use and stand up in my environment. So yeah, looking forward to that too. It'll be fun. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, we're definitely we're excited to bring in those features, and definitely be reaching out to the audiences as well, say, what other, preference center functionality would you like to see built, and let's build it. It should be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll leave it here. Raja, thank you so much for all the work that you've done. And again, thank you for all your preparation. You could tell that you were well prepared, so helpful. And I think we're off next week because of the US holiday. We'll look to return the following week to do more building. And we'll keep you on the list, Raja, for future building, if not also instructing. If you're interested in also leading a session, a building session, we would definitely tap you, because you've got a great knowledge and great experience level as well. So.
Yeah, thanks, Tim, and thanks for the training sessions. That it's all because of how the training sessions were going on, and like the sessions were absolutely very, very helpful. So that's that's one reason why I am able to do up all these things with little efforts. But yeah, all thanks to the trainers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so cool to see you building that functionality live, and you sort of, going your own path by creating the var and creating a sublist, its own variable. Just super cool and nicely done. And exactly, like, just so that you have comfortability within server-side JavaScript, just like you're exhibiting. It's just wonderful. So nicely done all around. Fantastic.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Bye.